Welcome to Story Time at the Roo Bus, a weekly podcast where we discuss music and arts and festivals and all the fun stuff.
Whatever we want, really.
I'm Brooklyn.
And I'm Sharla.
I'm Daniel. Good to see everybody again. We're kind of doing this bi-weekly from now on for whatever reason. So I guess when we do the intro, we have to say, welcome to Story Time at the Roo Bus, a bi-weekly podcast or whatever.
A thing of existence.
Yeah, it exists. That's okay. How has everybody been doing? It's like a little more than a month since Roo now. What have you been up to, Brooke? You haven't been on in a little while.
I've been clapping cheeks and... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, you've been working hard.
Yeah, I made a beer at work.
Tell everybody about it.
It's called the Sneeder Bottom, which is an inside joke between me and the coworkers. Super fun. It's supposed to be a hazy passion fruit papaya sour, but since we ran out of time, it ended up being just a papaya passion fruit sour instead of the haziness. But they're gonna make another batch.
Oh, are they?
It's
I didn't know
gonna
that.
be hazy like I wanted it. And right now we're currently working on ideas for Sneeder Top. We flirted with sour apple kiwi, but we don't have enough kiwi puree for that. So now we're going back to the drawing board, and I've tossed up the idea of apple mango.
Ooh.
So we'll see how that works out. We're gonna try to flavor it soon.
If you did that, would you rename it? Would it be a different thing?
It's gonna be Sneeder Top.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, the second beer is gonna be Sneeder Top. The old one is Sneeder Bottom.
The first taste I had of it was inside the bus. I want to say like Friday at Roo.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's right
They
up my
literally
alley.
finished it just in time for me to get a couple of growlers of it to bring it to Roo.
Was it a growler or a crowler?
A crowler.
Tell everybody the difference since you work in this
So
industry.
a crowler, usually you'll see those in can form. That's a 32 ounce that you can get from a brewery. Sometimes you can find them in glass bottles, but for the most part they're in cans. Well, ours is.
Yeah.
And then there's a growler that's a 64 ounce, and those are usually always in bottles.
Yeah. It sold very well from what you said, right?
Yes, we're already sold out of it, and I don't know what the next step is. I don't know if we're going to wait until he gets the special yeast in to make it the hazy that I want, or if he's going to make another batch for when Widespread Panic comes into town, because during the Phish show, the Orion requested my beer.
They did. I didn't know that. That's so
and,
cool. Wait, tell everybody
want
about
it,
that.
They want it back.
So that's something that has happened since we last spoke with everybody.
I guess I can't really speak for it, and I don't know if this is a legal thing or not.
That's
so
okay.
This is just for fun.
Keep this to yourself.
Fun. This is based off of my knowledge. We've got a deal. Straight to L has a deal with Orion. During certain shows, I guess we hang out at the Jeff and Blues venue, which is right next to Orion. It's in the Orion venue. It's just one of the restaurants and bars.
It's like
that
a
you can go
barn
to.
that's up the hill from the Orion, so it kind of looks like a plaza.
So we have a little table up. We have 2 taps, and we hand out free beer, which actually, in the state of Alabama, it's illegal to hand out free beer. So technically, y'all gave us a cent for every beer given, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, during Phish, we had my beer, the Sneeder Bottom, and the Ripe Moon, both of which were renamed for the shows. So mine was called, since it's a passion fruit papaya, it was called Gula Papyrus. And the Ripe Moon was something else. I can't remember, but they were both sours, and it was a really hot day, and they went quickly.
It was gone like an hour before Phish started. Yeah.
And then, to my knowledge, they wanted Sneeder Bottom back for the Widespread Panic show. So, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
So let me ask Sharla first, and I'm going to get your opinion too, Brooke.
Okay.
You guys didn't see Phish with me back in 2019. I went for one of those sets for a while. You guys went and did something else. So I ended up going to both nights of Phish here at the Orion in Huntsville. Didn't plan on it, but it happened. Sharla, you first. How did you like Phish?
Seeing them at the Orion?
Yeah.
Oh, so we recently saw Grateful Dead in Atlanta.
Or Dead and Company.
Or Dead and Company, I'm sorry. And seeing Phish, wow, that really blew me away, honestly.
So you want to tell your controversial opinion?
My controversial opinion. So I liked Phish better than Dead and Company.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It was just a very lively show, and I just really enjoyed it. Everyone was dancing. Everyone was just
That was a great crowd.
really up, and just the crowd. I think the crowd really made the show for me.
Phish fans are like the best. Everybody was like so friendly and welcoming.
I mean, the crowd really, truly makes the show, or brings the show.
And that they have done very well at the Orion to get good crowds. They got a good variety of shows. And by the way, if anybody is wondering, if you haven't listened to us talk about this before, the Orion is the new amphitheater. Well, not really new anymore. It's about 3 years old. 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
No, they had shows last year.
Yeah.
I went to some shows last
1 year.
1, 2. And they have been killing it. They've got a great lineup. Like we were talking about, Phish was there. Widespread Panic was there. We had Dave Matthews Band. Sharla and I saw My Morning Jacket there last September? Something like that. But Brooklyn, how did you like Phish? That was your first time seeing them.
Well,
Well.
it was as good as a jam band could be.
No,
they were pretty rad. The production, the stage production was pretty amazing.
The moving light thing,
yeah,
that was
shit
cool.
was awesome. And yeah, Charlotte, you're right about the crowd. The crowd does make it. Like, this dude next to me brought, like, he was just chilling. I mean, some dude with, like, some older guy with dreads. He was just chilling right next to us. We sat there for like a good 30 minutes. Didn't say a word. And then he reaches into his hat and pulls out some Bud Light. Eats his Bud Light and then looks up at the coming in rolling thunderstorm. And he looked at me and said, you know, it'd be a lot cooler if that storm was going right above us. And I looked at him because I had been sitting out there in the heat all day. And I was like, yeah, I agree, because it would make it a lot cooler.
That was
but yeah,
fun,
I haven't seen Dead and Company, so I can't really compare, but like just going off of like opinion, I personally, and people are gonna bite my head off for this, I don't like what's his face?
John Mayer?
Yeah, I don't like John Mayer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
You are now dead to Evan.
That's fine. I'm sorry, Evan. Shout out to you, homie.
Yeah. We'll talk about him later, yeah.
But I really, really enjoy listening to like old Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it would be the same. And like going off of like what you said, Sharla, about the crowd and everything, I think it just I don't know. I don't think it would be fun for me personally.
Well, it's okay. Everybody's got different tastes.
That's fair. Phish was fun. I enjoyed Phish. I know that they played more of their jammy stuff on the night that I went. I wish I could have seen the night that you went, Sharla.
That night was great.
But
the first half was like mostly space theme songs for Huntsville.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, it was a live show. Like, they were phenomenal.
Yeah, you can't
honestly.
complain. We got to go for free on night 2.
No, I mean, they were phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie.
I would totally go to another Phish show. How did you guys like the shakedown street that they set
That
up
was
for us?
fun. I got a really cool pin.
Yeah. That was cool.
I love that they're doing that. And by the way, if anybody hasn't gone to one of these old school jam band shows, make sure that you show up a couple of hours early so you can go to the shakedown street. It's not just for like Dead and Company shows. Like Phish had it, you know, you just go out there and hang out. A lot of people are like selling stuff to eat and like fun things that they've made. That's like half the fun of going to a show like that, honestly. But yeah, shout out to the Orion for putting that together. Not just the show, but Shakedown Street and everything that they've done. They've done such a good job. If you're around Huntsville, go check them out and go see a show there, and hit us up if you're in the area. We had a good friend stay in the bus overnight from Nashville for night 2 of Phish. Yeah. That is all. Oh, hey, Cornbread is here. He's a guest on this program as well. Oh, and by the way, we are outside. It is a relatively cool night by late July standards, so we decided to come out here. Dude, it's 82 degrees.
I hate
it. That's cool for 7:30 on a Sunday night in late July. Are you kidding? Feels great. All right, guys. We are going to do our Roo-ie Awards again this week.
Yes.
What did we call it? The Roo-ies?
The Roo-ies,
The Roo-ies. We're going to do that here in just a bit. But I wanted to ask you each, now that we're a month and change out from Bonnaroo 23, I wanted to hear how it has sunk in for each of you. Like, what do you think some of the best sets were? How does Bonnaroo 23 compare to the other ones that you've gone to? I'm going to go with Sharla first, since you got to tell us your beer and everything, Brooke. Sharla, tell us how 23 has settled in for you.
23, well, I'm just now getting my wings back. You know, just now getting settled in and everything. And it's still the best Bonnaroo for me so far.
The best?
It's still the best.
Wow.
Still the best.
Now, what makes it the best?
Well, I don't know. 13 might be the best.
Well, your first is always kind of the
First is
best.
always the
Yeah.
best. But what makes it the best? Okay, this is gonna be lame, but hear me out.
Bring on the sappiness.
Bring on the sappiness. The people.
The people. Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
The 100%. The people that I was with made it for me. Everybody that I was with, the friends that I'm,
The friends we made along the,
the
way,
friends
literally.
literally, the friends that I made throughout all these years that I was able to come together with this year in the group and everything, and that just did it for me.
Yeah. I heard Evan talking about this on the What podcast when they had him on, about like how we were sitting there and we were just like, wow, this is almost too good to be true. And it really was. And not just because like Bonnaroo was so kind to us, but it was so good to be true because like we had such a good group over there. Like, 90% of everybody, we can talk about that in person if you want to hear some crazy stories, but like 95% of everybody that we had in our group was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, we got some crazy stories.
Yeah, we'll tell that offline. Ask us about it in person, yeah. Brooklyn, how did 23 treat you? How does it compare to your other roos?
This is my top room.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Tell me why.
I mean, Sharla, you basically covered it. No, I think, honestly, like, while there was definitely some downs, some, like, horrible times, and trying out this group camping thing, like,
oh, gosh.
Overall, like, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope we can do it again.
Yeah,
Personally.
We're leaning towards doing the group again. We'll do a couple of things different.
Yeah,
for sure.
But, like, just being able to, like, those of you that know, my tent was literally a part of the monkey bar.
How did that work out,
like,
by the way?
Honestly, at first I was like, well, maybe this might be a problem, because I know Dave is an early riser. And, but, like, I'm always an early riser too, because I can't stand the heat. And like, my tent, like, would 8 o'clock hit, boom, the sun, there it is. I'm hot. I'm getting out of my tent anyway. But like, I would hear Dave probably like at 6, 7 in the morning, just chatting it up and like,
hey guys,
making his coffee and doing his thing with some people who wandered into the monkey barn and stuff. And honestly, like, that was a highlight for me.
Yes.
'Cause I mean, the very first time I heard that was like, I got to experience waking up to hearing Dave and all of them was at Mini Roo, and that's where like a lot of our love came from.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more reasons. Like, just the lineup was really fucking good for me. I got to do a lot of things that I've never done before. I finally did the big ass water slide.
Nice.
No, wait, I didn't hear about that. This is the first time I hear about this. Tell me about it. Who'd you go with?
I went by myself.
You did?
Drew was there to
Oh,
film
okay.
it, but I went by myself. I raced this little kid. I made friends with this little kid in line, and he ended up like paying for my ride and was like, "You can go again." And I was like, "Well, I'm only gonna do it once because I have a show. I had to go see Paramore."
You did it Sunday. That's why I didn't hear about it. I'll tell you why in a moment.
So I raced this kid down the slide. It was so fun. Gosh, I wanted to do it again, but I had to make it in time for Paramore. But like this year, like, everything kind of just made sense. Like, I got into the habit of finding like our Okie crew. And like, how they do the blankets, we get all together and we like
that's
chill
so
in the
fun.
back. Like that's my thing. I think that's like where I belong. I don't know. I don't like getting up front for shows anymore unless it's like somebody that I'm dying to see, and I mean, everybody that I was dying to see I've already seen before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right, because we saw the Foo
I just
Fighters.
really enjoyed like chilling, like especially that Grizz set, the Chasing the Golden Hour set. That was magical for me personally.
It was for me in different ways.
Yeah. I mean, they did the
yeah, I know what you mean. The Rainbow Kitten
They did
surprise.
the Rainbow Kitten surprise tribute, and I was bawling my eyes out.
That was incredible. That's one of my favorite Bonnaroo moments ever. When he brought out that
So
like
good.
remix of that song.
So good.
Sorry, I was at Young Grady.
Wait, this is the first I'm hearing of this. How was that?
I couldn't see Young Grady because they didn't have the screens at the tents. And
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that on our last episode.
We
Can we talk?
mentioned
That
it-
was like
we
one of the
mentioned it
misses.
briefly.
Why did they do that? That was such a weird thing to not do that.
I assumed it was to make money for something else, but
Yes,
or to
that,
move
that's
money for
such.
something else. But
That was the one thing that I will say like that they didn't do right this year in terms of like infrastructure. So
Yeah.
many other things went perfectly, but that one was just like everybody was like, "Why would they take that away? That's a dumb idea."
yeah, that
But
was
anyways,
really strange.
yeah.
But you know, from what I saw, it was mostly his DJ hyping him up.
Really,
It was
that's
just-
always so
It was
awkward.
kind of odd.
Did you just go in honor
It
of our boy Bloop?
It could have been better.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. It wasn't a terrible show. It just could have been better.
There's always one show at Bonnaroo where everybody's a little bit hyped for, and you go to it and you're like, "Oh, what was that?" What was that one guy that does the?
Little Dicky.
Yeah, I heard the same thing about him. That
Yeah,
show
I
was just
did
awkward.
too.
Yeah, a couple years ago or whatever. I will say that 23 for me was definitely one of the best. It had some of the best times and also some of the biggest challenges. I'm not going to say like the best and worst because they weren't bad things. They were just big challenges. It was a challenge putting a group together, but I think we did it.
Yeah.
I give ourselves an A-. I think if and when, and probably when we do it again, we will do much better now that we know.
I'd say a B.
B plus.
A solid B.
Yeah, there's
a lot of the stuff was not on us though.
Well, I'll say this, and I have spoken with some of the folks at Bonnaroo about this. For people who have been doing group for years, they know what to do. Red Roo has it down to an exact science. So many of the others, like, I mean, they'll get thrown curveballs, but they still pretty much know how to do it. If you're putting a new group together, you're kind of like thrown into the deep end of the pool and expected to learn how to swim immediately. You don't get a lot of support. If you go into some of these group forums like they have set up on Discord, people will give you helpful advice, but there's not really a guide from Bonnaroo. I feel like that's something that could be really helpful, but we figured it out. Thankfully, just because we know a lot of people at Roo, so we were,
Right.
blessed to be able to check with people and get good advice. And I told them this, I'm like, hey, if somebody is new doing this and they don't have a lot of experience at Bonnaroo, like they're kind of set up to fail a little bit.
Right. I would feel horrible if someone like completely didn't know anyone or
Yeah.
and tried to put a group together and that'd be
But
just awful.
it is an overcomable challenge. I just made up that word. We had I had like some personal challenges, and we had like some as a group, and just some as like with some of the events that we were going to put together and everything. But we overcame them all. And I actually, Brooklyn, it's okay. She sneezed. She was trying to hide it from the podcast, but that's okay.
Sorry.
Bless you. But it was a great Bonnaroo because I love adventures like that.
Exactly.
I told everybody in our group Discord before we went, like, hey, not everything is going to go according to plan, and that's okay. That's what makes a fun adventure.
Right.
And, man, was it a fun adventure. I'll tell you this. I definitely got the least sleep that I've ever gotten at any Bonnaroo, and I dearly paid for it the next week. I'm like, oh, man, this is what it feels like to be at empty. I didn't sleep well for like a week, or not on routine anyways.
When you say a challenge, I completely agree with you because I absolutely love challenging myself
Oh,
and
yeah.
pushing myself
Yes.
like that. That's one of the reasons that I went to Burning Man last year,
Oh.
just to see if I could push myself.
I
and
can't wait for you to go.
push my body to do it.
I
to
still,
challenge
like-
myself.
Envy y'all and praise y'all for doing that.
Oh, you're going
Y'all
next
are
year.
so
Going next
badass.
year.
You're going next year in
We're going
24.
next year.
I'm ready.
You now. Continue what you were saying.
Well, just to push myself and to give myself those challenges, mentally and physically, and that's one of the reasons that I did the group.
Yeah.
To make sure that I, could do that and put that together, and with the help of everyone else, and we're going to get to that here in a minute on this podcast. With the help of everyone else, we were able to put that together and pull that off. But that's one of the reasons that I did that. To challenge myself and
We're weird. We like that.
to pull that off was just such an incredible feat this year. And
And we didn't do it. We did it with
didn't do
like
it.
dozens
we had
and
the
dozens.
help of dozens of other people, of course, but just pulling that, seeing everyone come together and to pull that off, just incredible.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason that we're doing these awards here in just a little bit, to thank a number of people for helping us and helping Bonnaroo in general make such an amazing year and everything. But yeah, we will have more to share about what we thought this year in future episodes. Like I said, we're going to probably start doing these bi-weekly from now on, because I'll be honest with you, I've been traveling like crazy for work. I'm on like a 2-month break, but I'm going to be traveling again before too long. Any other thoughts about 23 before we move on?
Pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in a blanket. By the way, before we move on, I have to tell you and everybody listening that you must fight me in the cage at Burning Man next year. We can talk about that some more another time. But that's.
I hope you enjoy getting your ass kicked.
I hope you enjoy getting the shit beat out of you with the Nerf bat.
Well, I hope you know that's not fucking happening.
We'll find out. You can F around and find out, man. All right. I did want to take one look forward a little bit. I'm not going to play the guessing game of, who's going to be headlining in 24. But our good buddy, the Festival, had a fun thing this week. He's actually been, I don't know how much all of you know, but he's actually kind of been working sort of with Bonnaroo. If you were there, you saw all his posters all over the place and the giveaways and stuff. He did a cool job with that. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the winner who came to the bus and got one of the toy owls and won a good prize. So he did a fun thing this past week where he asked everybody, like, hey, who do you want to see at Bonnaroo 24? It will get passed on to the bookers.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he got a lot of replies about this. Which one of you would like to volunteer to tell us the top vote getters for who wants to be booked for 24? Brooke, Sharla?
Top 3 or top 4?
Go through all the names there. Why don't you tell us and how much percent they got of all of the requests?
From top to bottom?
Yeah.
Or from bottom to...
You pick.
Okay, I'm going to go from the bottom.
Go for it.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the bottom, we got Pretty Lights at 6%.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard booking. I don't think he's going to be playing.
This one shocked me. Dolly Parton, rocking at a whole 7%.
How is she so low? That's weird. I would not.
I get it though.
I think people have given up on the Dolly.
Yeah,
you
no,
think so?
I'm there with them. I mean, honestly.
When the survey came out, I didn't put Dolly on it.
Yeah, same.
Because I was like, I'm over it.
I mean, they know that everybody wants her,
Right.
but I think everybody realizes it's a long shot.
Right.
Fred again.
Please.
At a
I want him so bad.
10%.
I want him so bad. I want that show that they had at Coachella this past year.
Now, this next one is my top.
That's your top one?
Yes.
Tell everybody.
Rufus Du Sol.
They
at
are
11%.
I love
Rufus Du Sol, like, if they come, that's my number one. I don't care who else is on the lineup. I'm dying for a Rufus Du Sol set. Like, I need it.
The show that they played at that tent, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, was some of the most fun I've ever had at Bonnaroo.
2018.
I don't care. I want them either at What or Other. I don't want them at Which. I don't want them in a tent. I want them at What or Other.
Oh, I think that's a given. They're huge now.
Like, I am obsessed.
Next up.
Oh, my goodness. Glass Animals at a rockin' 12%.
I think that is pretty much a guarantee next time they have an album out.
Yes.
Like, they were booked for one of those phantom ruse that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure we'll have them back as soon as
This
they're
one
able.
makes a lot of sense, and I could definitely see them on next year's lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Skrillex.
So I want Skrillex.
15%.
I want Skrillex and Fred again. I want them to do the B2B like they've been doing.
And Rufus Du Sol.
The butt to butt.
Butt to butt, yeah. Skrillex
All right.
and Fred.
This
butt
next
to butt.
one's random, but I'm here for it. Miley Cyrus at 17%.
That is not random. That makes a lot of sense. Because she was supposed to be there in Twinning.
Mm-hmm.
She
I don't
lives
know.
just
I
up the
could
road.
see Billie Eilish in favor of her.
If you had to choose between the two, would you
Oh,
pick Miley or Billie?
that's impossible for me.
What would you pick between?
Miley.
I would pick Miley over Billie.
I don't
I'm
know,
sorry.
man. I don't know. That's hard for me.
All right, and this is going to be music.
You do it.
This is going to be music to Andrew's ears and mine and many others. The top vote getter, far and away, was Tame Impala at 22%. We were supposed to get them twice. We haven't had them since 2016. Everybody's been dying for them. I know from multiple people in the know that they have been the top band on any survey for years now. They're overdue. I know they want to come back. Now, here's the thing.
I could see everybody on this circle be there except for Dolly Parton.
That's a good idea. I can see that happening. That whole thing could be the top of the lineup except for Dolly, because let's be realistic. We want her, but it's probably not going to happen.
No.
But yeah, I could see that. I could see Tame headlining, of course, Miley headlining. I think if you got Fred again and Skrillex and Quartet, they could be a headliner because they did headline Coachella. I would be very happy with that top three. Tame, Miley, and that B2B.
The butt to butt.
Butt to butt.
Rufus.
Yeah, that would... Well, they talk on the What podcast about, like, lanes. So, like, everybody that's going to want to see that B2B between Fred and Skrillex and Quartet would definitely also go to Rufus Du Sol. That makes a lot of sense.
I've gotten into, Chris Lake and Lane 8, a year too late.
I know. What's funny is, Lane 8, had been making stuff for years, and he didn't finally get like a
Yeah.
lot of mainstream recognition until last year. Same with like a lot of other ones. Like, I was like over the moon about Amtrak at Okeechobee last year. And that guy had been producing stuff for like almost a decade.
Yeah.
And finally was getting on good lineups last year, It's weird how that works.
Well, I mean, I guess you could say like that set last year, Lane 8 set.
That was so much
is what
fun.
got me into like the whole thing. That and Porter and like just like the more chill like. I don't know.
Thank you, because that's what I'm trying to do with Catlow
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
man.
your stuff is incredible. By the way, if y'all don't know, you have a SoundCloud, right?
I've got a couple of mixes, not many.
I'm plugging him. Go look up Catlow on SoundCloud.
I mean, if you're in the area, I'd rather you come to one of my shows. So,
Yeah, we're having one at Straight to L next weekend on Friday.
Yeah, thank you. That's gonna be fun. I'm trying to put together some new stuff.
It technically is labeled as the Widespread Panic after party.
I don't think there's much crossover there at all.
No.
No.
But that's what Straight to L labeled it as, and I was like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah. But anyway,
But
so
not really. I love y'all.
that stuff. No, nobody's stupid. That stuff that we just listed from Festival, collecting all those, that was based on 4,000 or over 4,000 replies across all of his different social channels. So thank you, Festival, for putting that together and getting those names to the powers that be. And by the way, I had pushed this on our Twitter and some other things. While we're talking about who should be playing next year in Cinderoo, we're going to push her name out there. Wanda should play in Cinderoo next year.
Yes.
They should put her on the Who stage or on one of the tents on Thursdays. She had a great crowd over at the Group Plaza.
Yes,
and I should pass on from her. We'll probably have her on as a guest at some point again. She heard from a lot of people who came up to her and recognized her. Thank you so much for supporting Wanda at the show that she played for us and giving her, your support when you saw her walking around Bonnaroo. Her new album is out here in just a couple of weeks. She's playing a couple of release shows across Alabama. So look her up. Please go support her. Check out her album if you can. All right, Sharla.
Daniel.
Do you want to talk about our Patreons?
I do.
So let's list everybody off, and then we'll kind of tell everybody the new deal these days.
Okay, absolutely. All right, are you ready?
Let's go for it.
All right. Bliss, Austin, Madeline, James, Daria, Chelsea, aka Hygiene Queen, Ryan, Rebecca, Chris, Skylar, Daniel, Ernst, Jordan, Bill, Harris, Keith, Casey, Chloe.
Chloe. That's another Chloe, though. That's Chloe Rose.
Dave, Amanda, Aaron, Nick,
Shout out to Nick.
Maddie, Sean, McFerg, Kent, Randy, Madison, Scott, Greg, Eric and Ben, Natalie, Evan, Jay, Chloe, and Sean.
Thank you so much, everybody. So, I think I had mentioned this on the last episode, and I had told our Patreons this. We are kind of pivoting what we're doing a little bit. Of course, you've seen, Sharla and I have kind of decided that we are pivoting what we're doing with the Roo Bus. We're kind of retiring from doing big events and kind of retiring from being so much public. We're going to continue doing this podcast. We're going to do it a little less frequently, and eventually it's going to kind of change focus a little bit. But if you haven't heard, we are going to be focusing our efforts on a new 501c nonprofit charity. We want to be a little bit more behind the scenes, so we're going to be supporting some things like Festival Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We're going to be doing a festival scholarship, which we've already been talking with Bonnaroo about that. I'll have some good news for that here in a month or two. And long-term goal is to do an international exchange program. My goal is within 5 years to bring a group from Haiti to play traditional Haitian Creole music for us at Bonnaroo and kind of share experiences and culture and everything. So what we're doing is the Patreon from now on is going to be funding those initiatives. As always, Sharla and I won't keep a cent, but it will help fund what we're doing with the festival scholarships and eventually saving up money so we can do this cultural exchange program with Haiti. We will talk way more in depth about that. We're getting some more things lined up for that. I'm talking with our buddy Brad here in Huntsville to get in the 501c set up here in the next month or two.
Tax guy, Brad?
Tax guy Brad.
Oh,
If you need a tax man, as the Beatles say in Huntsville, we can point you to a good guy.
As he calls himself,
Yes.
Asian Brad.
Yeah, his term.
Yes.
He's got a long story. Why don't we have him on as a guest
That would be
before too
hilarious.
long, and he can tell all those
God, it would be
stories.
so funny.
He was almost at Roo this year. He wanted to come see the Foo Fighters. But
Never
more
get
information about that, so you can find it at patreon.com/Roobus. And we're going to keep it in the account. We're not going to touch anything until we have everything, legally set up and everything with the 501c, have it officially filed. So it will stay in the Patreon account. We won't touch anything until everything is good to go. But that is what the Patreon is going to from now on. So again, that's Big Brothers, Big Sisters for festivals. And we're going to be doing festival scholarships and the cultural exchange program. We'll have much more details about it in the future. Sound good, Brooke?
Sounds great.
All right. Do you guys think we should get to our Roo-ie Awards for
Yes.
2023?
Our
The Roo-ies, yes, that's right. So, Sharla, before we kick off all these other ones, we got a big list that we already came up with when we were sitting on the couch. Do you want to talk a little bit about giving it to Pondo, the decision process that we had the last couple of months leading up to Bonnaroo?
Well, Pondo has been a part of the Bonnaroo community for many, many, many years. A lot of people know Pondo, and Pondo's had some hardships the past couple of years. I mean, a lot of people have, but Pondo's had some real hardships the past couple of years.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of medical issues and things like that. But he's always been positive, especially on social media. You can find him on Twitter, Pondo Knows Best, and he's always just been a beam of positivity.
Yes, and he will have your back. He hadn't even met me, and he had my back on Twitter one
Did he?
time.
Did he?
He's the sweetest guy.
You're part of the Pondo Army.
Yeah.
We are card-carrying members of
Yeah.
the
I
Pondo
finally
Army.
freaking met him this year, and after that, I saw him everywhere.
He's the yeah.
It was so great. I was blessed.
I mean, he won't care for me saying this. I mean, he's getting around on a bum leg, and he's still everywhere.
Right?
So wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, Sharla and I talked with a couple of other, people that you probably know from Bonnaroo that are making things happen and have been for years. And we pitched the idea. We're like, hey, we've done this Roo-ie of the Year. We gave it to Lindsay last year for supporting everybody during the pandemic.
Yes.
And to us, there was kind of no question that it should be Pondo because he's been through the ringer, man, and he's still so positive and supportive of everyone and is such like a great beacon of hope and like
Right.
a great representation of what a Roo-ie should be.
Exactly.
And everybody I talked with was like, yeah, there's no other choice. It has
Yeah.
to be him. So his buddy and a great DJ, Vinyl, we conspired for a couple of months.
So beautiful.
Yeah, we were like, hey, Pondo, do you want to be the MC at the party, with Cherub? And he was, you know how he is. He's like, oh, yeah, hell, man, that sounds great. So, he came up and he did an intro for us, and, he's being the hype man for that show. And I was like, Pondo, this has been a long con, man. This was just an excuse to get you on stage. And Vinyl gave him the little plaque that we made. It was so fun. He
I
gave
remember
me
walking up right when y'all were doing
Yeah.
that. We found our spot right when y'all were
Yeah.
doing that. And I knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah.
And I started bawling my eyes out. I was like, oh my God. And this girl looked at me like I was fucking insane. I was
We
like,
all are here.
I was like, it's fine. I know
Yeah.
them.
I
I know them. It's fine.
It's like Buddy the Elf when Santa Claus comes out. I know him.
This girl had not a clue what the hell was going on. Just this woman just bawling her eyes out at the crowd. And
Oh my
then
gosh.
This dude getting an award that she doesn't know what.
Shout out to that girl.
God, she was awesome though. She was like, "Are you
So-
okay?" I was like, "Yes, I'm great."
I can tell you when I was standing there on stage in that spaceship at Where in the Woods, when before Pondo realized what was happening, he gave me that look that I've seen from him a couple of times where it's like, what the hell is this? Yeah. But he kind of figured out what was going on when Vinyl started talking to him. It was so sweet, man. And the Cherub guys gave him a high five and a hug on the way down. It was so fun, man.
And then he got to pass out mimosas to the crowd.
That was, yeah. Shout out to everybody that came to that show. That was the time of my life, man.
If we didn't get a mimosa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we didn't have enough for the 5,000 people that showed up or however many
it
it
was a lot of folks.
Oh, shout out to the guy, and I am going to give you an award right now. The tree guy for climbing the
Yes.
tree during that show.
The random guy that there's a guy that climbed the tree during Grizz too.
I missed that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm giving a Roo-ie award right now to the guy that climbed the tree for just, I don't know, what should the name of this award be?
Monkey of the Year.
Climber of the, whatever. Yeah, shout out to the guy that climbed the tree in the middle of the Cherub show at Where in the Woods. That was so funny.
Wait, what's the guy's name that scaled El Cap?
Oh,
Oh,
Alex, what's his last
Connell?
name? Alex Honnold, yeah. He is
Oh,
the
you
Alex
get that-
Honnold of Bonnaroo.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Boom.
He free soloed that one tree.
You free soloed that tree, therefore you get the free solo award.
We're going to unofficially name that tree after you. So whoever that is, if you know who that guy was, connect us with him.
Yes.
That's so funny. I think he got in a little trouble for it, but you know what?
Who cares?
When you go to Bonnaroo, you should get into a little trouble anyways.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point,
if
man.
if you don't, are you doing it right?
Yeah, exactly. But again, shout out to Pondo. Pondo, I know you're listening. We love you so much, man. Everybody loves you and supports you. Yeah, shout out to Cornbread. He's doing his little loaf move over here. But for now, Pondo, hey, y'all tell him. Pondo, we love you, man.
We
love
love
you.
you, dude.
We'll see you before too long. Roo-ie of the Year, Pondo, a.k.a. Brian from up
Pondo,
there
it
in
was
Tennessee.
so wonderful finally getting to meet you this
So
year.
happy to make all that happen. All right, do we want to get to all of our other awards? We've
Yes,
got a
we
fairly
do.
big list.
Yes.
Now, let me start out by saying this isn't really, like, the one that we just gave to Pondo. That is the one that we take really seriously.
That's the official award.
A lot of these, like, sometimes we take kind of seriously, but a lot of these are kind of jokes. And these are the awards that... Oh, thank you, Cornbread.
Cornbread.
I'm not even going to edit that. That's funny. But anyways, we give these out because these are people that we come in contact with. Now, we're lucky and blessed to meet a lot of people across Bonnaroo. But you should do this for your crew, too. So you should give out Roo-ie Awards for your whole crew that you had in your campground. We highly suggest you do that. Publicize it. We'll retweet it, whatever. We love that idea.
The Roo-ies.
But these are the Roo-ies within our circle of influence, like people that we hang out with and everything. So, and these are in random order. Each of us kind of thought about this the past 24 hours to kind of give recognition to people that we love that made something cool happen, right? All right. So, in no order whatsoever, we have about 15 of these. Brooklyn, would you like to start?
Yes, can I do the first two since they were mine?
You absolutely should.
All right. I have a Vibes Award.
The
now,
Vibes.
this person was fantastic.
Were the vibes immaculate?
Fantastic. We were gallivanting around.
Gallivanting?
Gallivanting, whatever the freaking word is, y'all know. I'm sorry, I'm like a Four Loko deep, okay?
I couldn't believe it actually didn't
I
taste
mean,
nasty.
we were walking around the group camping. We were looking for the Squeak Squad because we heard there was a party.
Oh.
Well, we get there and nobody's dancing, and this person decides to just go in the tent and start dancing in front of everybody. Great, sick-ass moves. This person's name is Keith, and I don't know his last name. I just know that they are Evan's best friend.
Shout out to Keith. The
Keith
Vibes
was
Award.
fantastic. You get the Vibes Award. Evan, if you're listening, please let Keith know.
Yeah.
Or Keith, if you're listening, we love you.
Yeah.
You were amazing.
Shout out to Keith.
Yes.
All right. Now, this next one that you have listed in our note here, I think we all agree on this, and we all can collectively award this one.
Yes.
But Brooklyn came
So
up
this
with
is
it.
a person. This is a person I've seen on Twitter for a long time, and I've heard talk, and I've communicated, and then just met them, and immediately was
Yeah.
like,
We've
"Oh
got-
my God, I love you."
We've gotten to know this person way better.
Amazing.
This person came over to the house a couple of months ago.
Yep.
Actually came again about a month ago, and now he's realizing that it's him. So why don't you tell him?
Came to Mini Roo.
Yeah, came to Mini. Oh yeah, I wasn't there. I was traveling for work.
JB, you know who you are.
JB
You
knows.
get the Kindness Award. You have a heart of gold, and we all see it through and through.
Oh my goodness, he is the best. So I also need to give him a shout out because he was instrumental in like our whole carpool situation
Yes.
for Camp Rubus. Like he went above and beyond, and he is, like you said, the kindest guy. He is instantly your best friend as soon as you
Always
start talking
so
to him.
happy.
He is one of the nicest people I've truly
Always
ever met.
so sweet.
And like he is like one of the people that I love trolling in like a fun way. JB, now I love him. I'm gonna pick on him a little bit. He's kind of like, kind of like a innocent kind of guy. I take him inside the bus and I'm like, JB, we're doing shots. And he sits there and like goes a couple in and he's having a good time. But
you
yeah.
didn't see him at Mini Room.
No, I was.
Should have seen him at Mini Roo.
I hate that I missed that. Yeah. But JB, we love you. The Kindness Award.
Yes,
Yes.
the Kindness Award.
Love you,
You are
JB.
like a sweet baby koala.
Okay.
Next up is from Sharla. Tell us what this one is.
So I have two people that I have selected for Rookie of the Year, and these two people, just were amazing, and I cannot believe it was their first Bonnaroo. Like, it just blows my mind. So the first person up is Elisa Casanova. She was from Arizona, and she is only 20 years old.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And she flew out, got a rental car, and drove to Bonnaroo. When I was 20 years old, I would have just fainted from the even thought of doing something like that on my own. Elisa is an EMT, and just doing something like that
Wow,
at age 20, like, I would have never even had the, like, no, I would have just died.
She
Like,
That's also
was
badass.
Amazing.
curled up and died. Like, just to do something like that at age 20, just absolutely blew my mind. I could not believe that she was only 20 years old.
Right.
Like, her maturity level just absolutely
And she kept the vibes
blew
going.
my mind. Yes, and she kept the vibes
She
going.
was just
And
like a down-to-earth person.
her and I actually walked over to, from camp over to We're in the Woods one day. You know, I really got to know her and got to talk to her. And she's just such an amazing, beautiful, beautiful person. Just love her so much. Just an amazing person. And I hope I get to hang out with her next year.
Yes.
So the next person, I'm pretty sure it was her first Bonnaroo. And she's still in our Snapchat group, Amber Sharkey.
She's funny.
She is so hilarious, just a great person. Yes. She kept the vibes going again. Just an amazing, amazing person. Just shout out to her. Just a totally amazing person. For it being her first year, she knew everything, knew exactly what to do. She hung out at the monkey bar, just totally kept the vibes going. Just such an amazing person.
All right. Shout out to Amber and Elise, Rookies of the Year. Yeah. Are you going to interview them? You interviewed our Rookies of the Year last year, remember?
We should have them on, yeah.
We should get them on,
That would be amazing.
Let's arrange that. We'll get in touch with them. So if you heard this on the podcast, you know you got to get in touch with us. We're going to try to make that happen. All right, next up, I think we all kind of collectively agreed on this one as well. This was a no-brainer. So last year, one of our favorite people, one of the sweetest people in the world, one of my favorite people in the world, Chloe won this award, Most Supportive. I got to hype up Chloe for a second before we award it to the next person for this year. She will support anything you're doing. And the person this year did that as well. Notably, with a lot of our events, he helped me tremendously with getting things set up, making sure that sound was running well, making sure that, like, Wanda was good to go, and being, like, just there, Johnny on the spot with anything. Yeah, Sharla?
Okay, so this person also tremendously, 3,000% helped me set up the group and get the group process running and helping me with knowing what to do, because anytime I had a question with, oh my God, what do I need to do? This is my first year running a group camp. I have no idea what I'm doing. I would just send this person a message and he would be like, oh, all you need to do is da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, just one of the most helpful people I have ever encountered in my entire life.
We could not have done what we were doing in group this year and with our events this year if it wasn't for the amazing, the immaculate Matty Chap over from Squeak Squad, right?
Yes, Matt Chapman.
Yeah, he is the sweetest guy, and it was no question for us whatsoever that he should be the winner of the Most Supportive
Yes, Matt
award
Chapman
for this
from
year.
Squeak Squad. Yes.
All right, this next one, only one person can possibly win this award because this award is named after them. We tried to come up with like a funny name for this, but there was like no other way to name it. Many of you know and love this person. Your life is better for them having been in it. You will have an amazing experience if you spend even 5 minutes with them. You'll learn a couple of funny jokes. You'll have a story to pass on to friends. Your life is better if Mitchell Paget is in it. So shout out to him. He entertains us all the time, 365 days a year. I've been trying to con him into coming to crash with us for a weekend, as he is wont to do a time or two throughout the year.
Yes.
And I understand that he's going to be coming to our Braves game next week and possibly bringing his dad. That'll be fun.
Yes, good old Cam.
But yeah, Mitchell has won the Mitchell Award because we don't know what else to call it.
It's the Mitchell Award.
Yeah.
So when we were at camp, I think it was the very, very first night. Yeah, it was the very first night of Bonnaroo. I won't go into details, but there was a situation at our camp, and I could not find anybody. And I was like, I saw Mitchell sitting there, and I was like,
Mitchell, help me.
help!
with the puppy dog eyes.
And Mitchell was right there. He knew exactly what to do. He took care of it. He did his thing, and just thank you.
Yeah.
Just shout out.
And
the Mitchell Award.
I'm going to try to not overstate this, but like, I'm not joking. My life is better for him being in it.
Yes,
I have had some of the most fun times in my life with him. With him, like, leading the charge at, like, one of his birthday parties, or us just, like, having fun in Atlanta, or just goofy stuff at Mini Roo or Bonnaroo. whenever he's crashing over here. Like, I love him to death. Like, my life is better for him being in it. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I genuinely mean that. Like, he is one of the coolest people I have ever had in my life. And now I wish he was here with us right now. That's the best thing I can say. I wish he was sitting here right now. Okay. These are in no random order. I pushed this one. This is somebody that many of you may not know, but a handful of you will. Bonnaroo has done something amazing in the past couple of years. I don't want to name names, but a couple of years ago, it was a little tough, getting through to Bonnaroo. Like, you know how we are. We're always trying to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks and try different events and stuff. Back in the day, it was a little tough. We had to go through red tape, and we had to go through, like, various pieces of bureaucracy. But in the past 2 years, it has been so much different. Like, we will contact Bonnaroo and say, like, hey, we're thinking about doing, a DJ night or trivia, whatever it may be. And they're like, okay, that sounds great. What do you need? And the main person that has supported that, some of you know this person, I will just go with his first name, Corey with Bonnaroo. He is the sweetest guy. He loves the community. He is definitely a Roovian. Like, he's going to shows just like we are. He's having a great time. He's just also, like, on the job, part of the time. He will support Roovians and help make cool things happen. He knows what Bonnaroo is and what sets it apart from other festivals. And I can't say anything else other than he makes so many cool things happen, both in front of house and back of house. So he is our Bonnaroo Staff of the Year with, like, literally everybody. Bonnaroo is better for Corey working for them.
I agree.
Yes.
There's so many things I could say, but I love that guy to death, and I love that Bonnaroo has him.
Yeah.
Whatever they're paying him isn't enough. I'll put it that way. All right. Next one is one that I wanted to talk about. You all know this person already. I guarantee you 100% of you listening know this person. Well, you may not know them personally, but you know their online account. Now, this person is kind of a journalist, kind of like an event maker, kind of like a mover and shaker in the whole industry. But there's a lot of things you don't know about how much this person loves Bonnaroo and how many things that they're making happen. There's a lot of things that I can't say, but what I can say is the person behind the Festival account is getting our Bonnaroo Supporter of the Year award. Oh, I have to choose my words very carefully here, but our whole community is better for this person being in it. I can tell you a thing or two privately, but I will never reveal this person's identity because I respect what they're doing so much and they like to remain anonymous. But man, we are so lucky to have this Batman, or what, this person with an anonymous, superhero name of the festival in our community. He's doing so much that y'all don't even know about. Okay, next one I'm going to hand off to you guys. This one is kind of sort of an important one. Now, this is what this means to us. So some of you may say that this may be a different person. Why don't you guys tell us about this?
Okay. So every year, I don't know, you picked it, Daniel.
Well, okay. So this has been kind of like a halfway serious, halfway joke thing for many, many years about the mayor of Bonnaroo. Mm-hmm. It's been different people throughout the years. Some years it has been Chance the Rapper. Some years it has been Jim James. This year, I think Brooklyn may have another one.
I definitely have another.
Okay, well, we'll give you a couple of names. First of all, I'm a little biased, but I have to shout out Jason from Cherub. Him and I had been conspiring to make that We're in the Woods show happen, and he was all over the place, and he is, like, the best. He loves Bonnaroo dearly. He's kind of like one of the OGs. He's always hanging around making stuff happen. Another from an artist's perspective is Grizz for playing those two sets, especially that amazing Golden Hour set. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was incredible.
But it sounds like Brooklyn may have another.
I'm going to turn it feminine on you.
Oh, please, yes.
Haley Williams from Paramount.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't we think of her? Yeah, that definitely. And she's been doing a lot of stuff in the plazas. Not this year, but she had one of the plazas. In the past. Haley gets Bonnaroo, yeah.
She gets it, and every time she plays, which granted I've only seen her play twice at Bonnaroo, but every show, it's just she brings the energy, she brings the hype, and she brings the feelings.
Yep.
And oh my God, when Dave Grohl brought her on stage,
that was magic.
To sing "Hero."
Yeah.
I have no words.
That was awesome, dude.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing I wish we had more of at Bonnaroo, is like guests like that. But anyways, yes.
It's like that's the type of shit that makes you feel that feel.
Good call. That is
Haley Williams is the queen of Bonnaroo.
Oh, maybe she gets a separate award, Queen of Bonnaroo?
Yeah, she is the queen, definitely.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
a woman can be mayor.
Yeah, that's very true.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we got a whole mix of
Yeah.
things. Mayor/queen. So, yeah, shout out to Grizz, Jason from Cherub, and Haley from Paramore. Hell yeah. Good call, Brooklyn. Yeah. All right, next one, we're going to go with Organization of the Year. And if you are a veteran Bonnaroovian, you probably already know what's coming. There's no way to preamble this. It's the parachute people. You saw the Roo-shoot all over the place.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, they have been working since 2014 is when the shoot was the original year that the shoot came in. And they've been working very, very, very hard to turn that into, an organization, an actual nonprofit organization. And they have brought it in, and all the things that they do in the little nonprofit area and all the little play areas and things that they do, and they bring the shoot in. It's just so amazing what they have turned it into from just bringing in a shoot.
I'm so happy for them. Like, Ron, who many of you know, who originally smuggled parachute in back in the day, his vision has come to life, and I'm so happy for him and the whole organization.
How they've grown is what I was saying.
And that includes so many people. Like, Celia has done stuff with them throughout the years. So many other people, and they had the big group and over there and trying to go to bed, and they are just a mainstay. We were just so lucky to have them, and I'm so happy to see them expanding to other things beyond just Bonnaroo too.
Yes, exactly.
So, Org of the Year, parachute people.
100%.
All right, Sharla, do you want to explain this next category that we came up with a little bit? This is kind of like a mixed match a little
Brooklyn
bit.
came up with the second part.
Oh, well, why don't y'all tell us about it here? Yeah.
Okay, well, Engineers of the Year. We have two people that are our Engineers of the Year.
But we also, bless you, Brooklyn, but also, they're also the cutie patooties. Bless you. They're also engineers and cutie patooties.
I don't know, Brooklyn came up with that part.
Yeah, what did we call them?
Beans. I just want to
Little,
squeeze
they're
their
both
cheeks.
little beans. Well, who is it?
Okay, so Andrew and Evan. Andrew worked diligently night after night on a logistical spreadsheet for our carpool situation, and I have to give him a huge shout out. He just worked night after night on that.
Let me tell you how diligent he is. He is already formulating this idea to submit a proposal to Georgia Tech, where some engineering students can figure out the traffic and the group parking. And he wasn't joking. He was like, "No, I think I should go propose this."
That's amazing.
He's so analytical in such a cool way, in such a wook way, And he's the coolest guy. I had the best time with him this year.
I had the best time with him at Bonnaroo. No joke, for real. Oh my God, just an amazing person.
My favorite part of the video that I made, if y'all saw it on Instagram, is where the bass drops and it's Andrew's head, and he's like,
"Oh." Oh, did you see in one of my Instagram pictures that I posted on my account? I posted some pictures from the Cherub Show because I had such a good time putting that together. Yeah. And one of the pictures was him putting together a Lunchable in the middle of the crowd.
So classic.
He does that all the time. That's his thing.
Hey, y'all are onto something with them fucking Lunchables.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna do that next.
But also, there's Evan. Evan did a lot of this too. Brooklyn will be right back. She's getting a drink.
Okay, so Evan was our parking engineer, and he parked everyone in our group. We had 177 group passes, and I don't know how many people that it amounted to, but we had so many people that had to come out there and park, and people who just brought tents but actually parked in GA, and it was just, it was a whole situation out there. So many, 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 many thanks to Evan.
Both those guys.
Parking people, and just, oh my goodness, thank you so much. So those are
both of them
Engineers of the Year.
Yeah, and Evan previously last year won our Everywhere Award because I saw him at pretty much every show that I went to. So I'm going to skip ahead one thing because Brooklyn's coming back from getting a round 2 of a drink. Well, I know, but I was talking about the Everywhere Award, and I want to talk about who I want to give it to this year. Actually, there's 2. I nominated one, and you guys got one as well. So this person has also been super supportive. Whenever we're hanging around Nashville, they show up. This person was at the Goth Babe show. We've hung out at Play. My favorite club. I'm not a club person, but that is my favorite club. I love going there anytime. He's kind of a man about town at Nashville because you can catch him at most shows. He's always having a good time. I saw him literally everywhere. It's Dan Raymer. You need to know this guy. He's a really cheerful guy. Love having him around. He is also always super supportive, like I was talking about. But I saw him everywhere. He was at every show. He's just all over the place. But you have another one. Who was it?
Ernst.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
He was literally everywhere.
Had Ernst down. Yes.
Ernst, Charlotte, your story about Ernst.
What was my story?
I forget who it was. It was
What?
Odessa. He like showed up and then left and then came back and then.
What?
I can't tell that story on the air.
Oh! There's a lot of stories from that night. We can't share.
Those are just assumptions.
Oh boy. I was starting to say some things, but I'll
I
save it
saw
for in
Ernst
person.
everywhere at camp. I like turned around and there's Ernst. And I'm like, oh my God, hey, good vibes. What's up?
Next time any of y'all see us in person, like, ask us about that night. There's so many stories we can share that I'm not going to dare record. All right, we skipped one. Yes. Do you want to tell us this category first? Because this is a good category.
So the category is bussin' ass and clapping cheeks.
And this actually didn't happen at House of Yes.
No. This happened right there at Camp Ruba.
You almost said Rhetoric. I'm sure they were busting
What's
cheeks
wrong
too.
with me? I've had too much Four Loko.
I'll tell you funny after this.
But no, busting ass and clapping cheeks. Basically, that means they worked their ass off the entire bar.
To everyone's benefit.
To everyone's benefit, making drinks, building a freaking fort, a like literal bar in the middle of a fucking field in the hot summer sun of Tennessee, cooking food for everyone, just doing everything in their power to ensure good vibes and good entertainment. This award goes to none other than Dave from the Monkey Bar and Richard from the Monkey Bar.
Yes.
Those two, when they get together, they can literally accomplish anything.
Right?
And I mean, I am so happy that there was a huge group of us like helping them put things together. I mean, I know.
Oh, shout out to everybody that helped.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all
yes.
are incredible. I like. It was so nice.
That's when the Monkey Bar is the best.
Seeing them getting help, like it just brought me so much joy to see like a smile on Dave's face. Him not having to worry about like so much stuff going on. You know, like not having to worry about literally having to do every part.
Right.
Because that bar.
That can be stressful.
It is a lot. I don't know if all of you got to see it. It is a full-on bar. Like, he's got so much stuff. Like, and they have two trucks full of stuff.
How has he never gotten pulled over?
God, like, just jam-packed, full of stuff. And they worked their asses off, putting it together, taking it down.
But he loves it.
He loves it. And it's even better when he's got help. And he sure did get help. So, to those who also helped put it together and take it down, thank you. You are also part of this bussin' ass and clapping cheeks award.
I talked to Dave, or Daniel talked to Dave, and he said it was the most help that he's ever gotten, the most stuff that he's ever received. So shout out to every single person who brought stuff for the Monkey Bar.
Yeah.
Shout out to every single person who helped.
We were kind of overwhelmed with the amount of liquor.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Shout out especially to Jums, because on Monday, Monday, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to need help taking all that down. And I looked over there and Jums was over there taking a shift, literally helping take stuff down. And just,
we had the best crew,
We had such a good crew because people sign up, to do things beforehand, but then most people skip out when they actually get to Bonnaroo.
It's understandably chaos once you get there.
Yeah. But he actually took his shift and went over there and actually helped, So shout out for that. I just love people who actually do, what they say they're going to do.
All of you that were in the Rubus that helped, y'all were incredible.
Amazing.
Y'all
Thank you all so much.
all get this bussin' ass and clapping cheeks award.
You guys talking about that, I mean, we've always been leaning towards doing it again, but you guys talking about that, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it again next year.
You know what? Next year, I want to get, medals that say bussin' ass and cheeks just for incentive.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. Where did we get to? I will talk about this one briefly because I don't like talking about corporate stuff that much. Normally, And Bonnaroo people, close your ears for just like 2 minutes about this. I suggest that people don't go to activations because I feel like your time at Bonnaroo is best spent meeting people, goofing off with friends, not interacting with some like capitalist organization. I just don't feel like that's what Bonnaroo is about. However, I will make an exception because we were treated very, very well by the great people at Cracker Barrel. They gave out those breakfast tacos every morning, and the people that were working were so sweet and kind to us. They were checking in on us and everything.
Shout out to the Cracker Barrel hype man.
The
Cracker
yeah.
Bargle.
And they even had shows for us, just like literally across the street from like Kingfish and who else was it? I missed the other
Suki
show.
Waterhouse.
Oh yeah, because yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a funny story about that. But yeah, shout out to Cracker Barrel. Next up, last year I awarded Totem of the Year. I'm not going to say that this one is the best Totem of the Year, but I went to some show. I forget where it was. I took a picture of this. I'm going to give this the creepiest Totem of the Year. There was a baby coming out of like the seat, like Danny DeVito coming out of the couch in that meme from Always Sunny. That is the most notable totem. I don't want to say it's the best because it creeped me out, but that is the most notable totem. Sorry, my drink is getting to me too. Creepy Totem of the Year, the baby.
I didn't see any totems, and this is just me. I didn't see any totems this year that I was blown away by.
I mean, there was this one Tahin totem that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
But I heard last year it had like an actual bottle of Tahin.
That's pretty cool.
And this year, like, the girl was lazy and didn't.
So, okay, let's talk about this for just a moment. Let's take a quick detour. I am always most impressed by totems that have great engineering, which, as creepy as it was, the baby thing did have good engineering.
Yeah, true.
Now, I'm seeing something lately in the past year or so at Bonnaroo and Okie and other places where people have these totems that are made out of an LED board, which is cool because it can basically display a GIF. You'll see like Pikachu running or something like that. I feel like that's cheating a little bit because like you can buy one and like put a Raspberry Pi in it or something. That's cool, and it's kind of homemade because you got to program it, I suppose. I don't know how those work, but I'm just saying I want to see the old school. Take a picture, blow it up, put it on cardboard, tape some LEDs to it. That's the stuff I want to see. So we'll talk about that another day. I also want to give out an award for Event of the Year. And I'm going to give this to our buddy from Texas, Davis, who put together the speed dating event over at the Group Plaza.
Yes. Okay. Davis is so amazing.
Such a cool guy. And it had such an amazing turnout for that. I think he was understandably a little overwhelmed because so many people showed up for that. Mm-hmm. Were either of y'all there? I don't remember.
I walked over there, but I didn't.
I went for like the first 2 rounds where it was just like meet up with a friend, but then I dipped out when it became a little bit more of like a dating thing. And I want to say there was probably like 200 people there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was enormous. So shout out to Davis. That is the fan curated event of the year. Many others, and we have to, of course, give a shout out to the beer exchange that Red Roo does every year.
Of course.
Oh, that's grandfathered in for that award.
I think that was the most people I've ever seen at the beer exchange.
Yeah, that got insane.
Yeah.
Oh, and that beer they had this year was great. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Pontoon out of Atlanta. Yeah. They always do a fantastic job with that. This is our last one. And I said these are in no order, but I suppose it is apropos that this is our last one. This is the Positivity Award. This is a person that we just started to come in contact with this past year. They were on an episode of the podcast, I don't know, it was 3-4 months ago, something like that. This is Sammy. You heard her on the LGBT supportive episode that we did. It's kind of like an emergency. What was it, 3 months ago when all that BS was happening out of Tennessee? Oh my gosh, they are just like the most wholesome, supportive person. Positive, was helping me out with like all the stuff that I wanted to talk about when we were trying to be inclusive. We gave a little thing about like Juneteenth, because like the last day, it was the day before Juneteenth, and they came up and gave us the whole history of it. Love that. Sammy, we love you to death. I'm so happy that you were there in our group this year. You added so much to everything.
To meet Sammy, oh my goodness, just such an amazing human, and just love them so much. Just an amazing person.
Sammy, I need you there again next year. That
yes,
was so
please
fun.
Come
yes,
back.
Please come back. Baby, come back. All right, anyway. Those are our awards for this year. I highly encourage everybody to make up some to give out to your crew. That's part of the fun of this. If you tag us in it, we'll retweet it. I haven't been as active on social because I've been traveling so much for work, but I'm starting to come back to life now. Sharla will keep an eye on that for us, right?
Yes, of course.
So
of course.
tag us if you want to give some out to any of your crew or anybody else at Bonnaroo, and we'll help spread
And
the
again,
word.
just shout out to everyone in our crew, our group, that helped with everything. Again, just we could not have done it without you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. All right, last thing for this episode. And this is kind of a live episode. We're not going to do much editing on this. So excuse the transition. Normally there would be music here. We have to talk about something very important. It was a momentous occasion this past. It was very momentous. It was the event of the season. Everyone had been looking forward to this event this weekend. It was a long time coming. It was Barbenheimer. All right, so we did this a little differently. We didn't do the double feature, but we both saw each movie concurrently at the same time in different locations.
Yes.
I was up in the Washington, D.C. area for work. I saw Oppenheimer, and you guys were back here in Huntsville, and you saw Barbie. We were both in the theater at the same time, so we kind of did the double feature.
Yeah.
All right, ladies first. I want to review
I think
a non-spoiler
Lynn should go
review.
first. You should go first.
Why should I go first? I want to hear about Barbie.
Well, I'm gonna
we
go.
want to hear about Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Okay.
I,
Now
Okay,
now, I'm
I'm
going to
just
call you
kidding.
out. You told earlier.
call me out.
I'm going to call you out because earlier you've been over here for a while and we were getting a pizza, and you said something to me that took me by surprise. You said that you saw that Oppenheimer was getting bad reviews. What did you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's just Twitter, though.
Well, Twitter's.
You know how Twitter is these days.
especially these days.
It's
yeah.
just a dark hole of despair and depression.
But what did you see?
Everybody, and I mean everybody on Twitter, is shitting on Oppenheimer because they use, the 50-star flag in a one scene. And I'm like, honestly, okay, so it's in 49. This it's set in 1940.
Late World War II,
Yeah. So, there would be, forgive me if I'm wrong, 47 states?
Yeah, Hawaii and Alaska were the last.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
40, so, yeah.
I'll be dead in the cold ground before I recognize
These
Missouri.
fucking
That's what I was
nerds
gonna say.
are looking that hard.
I don't care about that.
They're looking that hard for 2 fucking stars? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I don't know.
I didn't even
Everybody's
notice that.
shitting on Oppenheimer, and I think it's.
Well-
I honestly kind of think it's funny because me personally, I don't have any interest in bombs or learning about bombs or anything. But that's just me. That's
Well-
just me. If that piques your interest, then by all means, have a blast. I'm not gonna shit on your parade.
Well, before I tell you my opinion of the movie, I will tell you this. I'm going to tell all of you this without giving out any spoilers. The movie is not about the bomb. It's like a biography of the guy.
Just like
And
Ford versus Ferrari is not about cars.
that was also a very good movie. So it's like a character study, and it's kind of like 3 movies in one. So like at the very beginning, it's about him finishing his doctorate and his PhD, and kind of like taking a different approach to physics. And in the middle, it's kind of like a horror movie because they're building this bomb that could destroy the world.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the last third of the movie, it's kind of a political thriller. So it's 3 hours long, but it's kind of like it's like a trilogy of movies smashed together. And it's not really this is not a spoiler, I don't think, but after they test the bomb and the bomb goes off, there's a whole nother hour of movie.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it isn't really about that, and it's not pro-bomb, because if you know anything about the history of the guy, he was scared to death that he had created the thing, and he was warning against the use of it. I loved it. I will say I don't think that the movie is what a lot of people are expecting it to be. They're expecting it to be some big action movie where the bomb goes off, and it's not that. Like I said, it's kind of like
some
a character.
big dick film. BD energy.
Big bomb energy.
Big bomb energy.
It's not. I mean, there is the cool scene where they test it and it goes off. It comes across a little differently than you might expect, but it's so fun because it's a great political thriller. It definitely has a message. It has a different message that you might expect. And I'm trying to be careful about what I say because I don't want to give spoilers. I know it's crazy to say spoilers for something that actually happened in history, but the approach that it takes to telling the story is a bit of a spoiler, and I don't want to give that away. I will say, it is not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. It's probably in the top 3. I think my favorite is still Interstellar, but I'm biased because that's a space movie.
Right.
Yeah. but it might be my second or third. I loved it. It's not as actiony as most other Christopher Nolan movies are. It's more of a thinker, kind of a talker and a thinker. But I loved it for it, and if you're on the fence about it, I would definitely see it once it's out on iTunes and you can stream it or whatever. It is fun going to a theater to see a movie like that, man. But if you're expecting an action movie, it's not what you're expecting. So yeah, that is my take on Oppenheimer. Now, I want to hear about Barbie.
Okay, Sharla, we're gonna do a thing where I say a thing and then you say a thing because I know we both have so much to say about this movie. So my first thought is, Daniel,
yes.
while you say
What?
While you say Oppenheimer is not a BDE movie,
Okay.
Barbie is definitely a BPE movie. If you know what I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
If you get my gist.
Tell me what.
Sharla, you tell him.
I don't know.
You don't know what I mean by that?
I know what
I
she
mean,
means.
I know what you're saying, but I don't know what.
Women. Yay. Fuck yeah, women.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's the female empowerment in the movie
Oh
is
my God.
fantastic.
It's so good.
It is amazing.
It's so good.
You told me it was very representative.
It does it in a way where
Yeah.
it doesn't demonize men.
Okay, that's what some of these like
Yeah.
SDE guys have been saying.
It feels like it's going in that direction, but then at the end it's like, no, like they have their place too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
How was what's his face as Ken? What why can't I think of his name?
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
No, not Ryan Reynolds.
Is that not who it is?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
No, the difference.
Close enough.
Too many Ryans.
No.
How was he
Close
as Ken? He looked like he was funny.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a really good fur coat that I think that you could
It
pull
looked
off
like
as a
Macklemore.
Halloween. He wears a chain.
Yeah.
Oh, a chain.
So so Barbie, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. The reason I would give it an 8.5 is because there's a subplot in the movie that I thought could have been removed entirely. Because by the time you get to the end of the movie, you're like, what happened to this?
I think I know what you're talking
Yes.
about.
No spoilers.
And but the female empowerment was amazing, and the diversity in the movie and the representations in the movie was 10/10 amazing, absolutely incredible. It's just that one subplot could have been like totally wiped out and taken out. It made no sense, and just at the end you were like, "What was that about?" But other than that, fantastic.
The
Incredible.
music was fun,
the music.
upbeat.
That's one of the most diverse soundtracks I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Right?
Billie Eilish has a song in it that like literally brings me to tears.
I was joking with Chloe this past week. I was like, your girl and my boy are both on this soundtrack. Like Lizzo and Tame. How
Yeah.
without
Tame-
spoilers, how was that Tame
remember?
song?
Like me and Charlotte didn't even know that Tame was like on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And like there was that scene where Tame like did the song, and I looked at Charlotte, I was like, "Was that Tame Impala?"
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she was like, "Wait, I think it was.
Yeah, it
what
was,
the hell?"
yeah. That's funny. Tame's been on a lot of soundtracks this year. Remember they were on the Dungeons and Dragons soundtrack?
All right,
Yeah.
Charlotte, I've been talking too much.
You know, there was a lot of people that said, "Oh, the mother-daughter relationships in Barbie, blah 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 blah." I did not get that at all.
No.
Barbie has a mom?
At all. Well, it was supposed to be, the.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any spoilers.
Oh, okay.
But I did not get that at all
same.
when I was watching the movie. At
Same.
all. In fact, I went a completely different way with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. As someone who has lost my mom, I still didn't even feel that.
No.
Um.
It was basic.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and try to answer this without giving me spoilers. Did it have something to say? Did it have a message?
Yes.
Great question.
Cheryl
Daniel.
had to think about it. But you
Yeah,
think so,
but
Brooke?
yes.
Okay, and I'll say this one thing, and then I won't say anything more. America Ferrera.
She
She
was,
has
yeah.
she has a part in that movie, and she does like an inspirational kind of bullshit thing. But she like what she says is basically like the way she says it and the way she cites it is like a poem. I felt like I was at poetry night at Straight to L listening to a woman empowered poem, and it like I hear poems all the time.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, like, what she had to say in that movie, like, you know it's going to reach a lot of people. And, like, what she had to say in this poem, I'm not going to lie, I am so sappy. I was sitting there fucking crying while she was saying this speech, like, to wake Barbie up. Do all kinds of, like, you know, crazy shit, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it does have a message, and I think that message is, like, in what America Ferrera's character says.
So that tells me it does have something to say. That's cool.
It definitely has a lot to say.
So
I really can't tell you the message without you seeing the movie.
I know.
Yeah, like it would spoil it. It's really, really good because I think it takes like a modern take on like feminism. It's like, you know,
Excuse me.
it kind of like, in my opinion, I feel like it takes a crack at like cancel culture too. Like,
really?
Or, like, not really cancel culture, but, like, just the, like, modern day, like, feminism, like, you don't have to be this, or you don't have to be that, or you don't have to, like, agree with this or agree with that, like, just rest and be you, and do what you want to do.
Right.
You know? I don't know, it just kind of spoke to me, and it's kind of embarrassing, but then again, it's not, I don't know.
See, I'm very interested in that because in modern Hollywood, like, a movie only seems to get made if it's like some IP, like, meaning that it's like a superhero movie or it's based on a product. Like this, you know, this is based on a Mattel toy. But a lot of movies are now made by
Mattel, I know. Is in the movie.
I heard. But a lot of movies like this are now made by directors or writers who are kind of like art house kind of people. Like they're coming from like the A21 style of filmmaking or whatever. And Greta Gerwig, who wrote and directed this, definitely is an art house kind of filmmaker. So for them to make something like this and use a product movie as a vehicle to have something to say, that's really cool. And I think that gives me hope for the future of Hollywood.
I think what they did with the movie was fucking genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way they did the movie. Like, if Hollywood was to do a movie about a product from the 90s, like, especially Barbie.
Yeah.
They did it in the most genius way possible. Because, you know, Barbie, like, originally was, like, the like, perfect physique, you know, and everything. Like, the ideal physique. And then Barbie actually came out with, like, the thicker Barbies. And then they came out with, like, the pregnant Barbie.
Barbie has been everything. She was an astronaut. She was the president.
Yeah. So they had, like, all the jokes in there. And it's definitely a movie targeted towards elder millennials. I would not take your child to see that movie unless they are above the age of 10.
Could Lacey see it? Our 9-year-old niece.
Yeah, maybe if she's able to, like, bypass innuendos, because there are so many.
Oh, I'm more interested than ever now.
She could see it, but she wouldn't understand most of the jokes in it.
Okay.
Yeah. She would be like, what is this?
It's like, no, she would be like, I don't get it.
I don't think your kids would enjoy the movie.
Yeah, like...
Don't take your kids to see the Barbie.
Take them to see Oppenheimer instead.
To me, no, I don't... saying this, I don't have kids. I don't think it's not that it's not a... It's not that it's a bad... It's not that it has dirty things in it. It's that kids won't understand the jokes or won't understand the movie.
It's like... Yeah, like, it's definitely targeted towards kids who played with Barbies in the 90s and early 2000s. Right.
I love that, though.
Like, it's so fun, because me and Sharla was telling me, like, the opening credit, Sharla was, like, it was showing all the old school Barbies, and Sharla was pointing to me, like, which one she had, and I was like, they don't even have the one that I had. I only had the freaking Dorothy Wizard of Oz Barbie.
I had that one.
Dude, I got in so much trouble, I pulled it out of its box, and my mom
you can't do
lost
that.
it. I remember... I was just wanting to play with her, you know?
Charlotte still has, it's at her dad's house, Barbie and Ken as Mulder and Scully from the X-Files.
Stop!
And it's still in the box from the 90s.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still in that curio cabinet?
No.
Where is it? Do you know where it is?
Yeah, it's in my mom's closet.
That's probably worth a lot of money.
No, it's not.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, it could be now, but...
Yeah. Well,
I think you should get it and, like, display it.
So, I'm glad that we could, in our own way, experience Barbenheimer, the event of the season. Can you take me to see Barbie Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one more... Not Tuesday. Monday, maybe.
Okay, we'll figure it out later.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
I have one more thing to say about Barbie. Michael Cera. That's all I have to say.
I meant to ask
That's
about
all I have to say.
I love Michael
Cera.
Have you ever seen that picture of Michael, Sarah, and Aubrey Plaza sitting at a restaurant and there's like a dozen girls behind them fawning over it?
My favorite meme of all time, my favorite meme forever will be Michael Cera sitting in a car, like a convertible car. He's got these glasses on and his hair's all poofy. And it says, "Get in, Mamacita."
Mamacita. What? Can you believe that there's a giant bug attacking? It's like Mothra. There he goes.
God.
Made me spill my
That
drink.
bug zapper is on. He'll die a horrible death in a moment.
Anyways, Michael Cera.
Can you believe that Michael Cera and Aubrey Plaza dated for a hot moment?
Yeah.
I can because Michael Cera's funny as hell.
That's amazing.
I'd date Michael Cera.
You know, like JB gives me Michael Cera energy.
Watch out, JB.
JB's gonna be dating Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. I would be so here for that. I would be so happy for that. Anyways, we have been going for an hour and 20 minutes. This is probably the longest we ever done. But we're doing it bi-weekly now, so that's okay. Any other thoughts this week? Any other last-minute awards you want to give out?
No, just shout out to everybody, like I already said 37 times.
37.
I think we need, like, an award for people who, like, are recognized but don't get recognized like this. And it's called Just the Clap Cheeks Award.
That was my hands, not my cheeks.
All opposed.
I have no opposition. No opposition. Seconded.
Like, I just want to hand out clap cheeks things. Like,
Can we make, like...
stickers that say clap cheeks, and just know if you get a clap cheeks, oh man.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get like a bunch of those little trophies like they hand out to you at the end of like Little League baseball season. Yeah. But instead of like of a baseball player about to swing the bat, it's gonna be like an ass on top of it.
There we go.
Okay.
I can't stand us.
On that note,
no legs.
We're about to get out of here. Yeah. Hey, thank you guys so much. Things are going to be changing for us over the next couple of months as we start to transition to like the new 501c. We're going to keep you updated on that and be transparent. I think I'm going to try to talk my buddy Brad, who's going to be our accountant for the 501c, and on our board. Come on before too long so we can we'll just brainstorm live on the podcast what we're going to do with it. He's a smart guy. He's in charge of like some other things like that too.
He's in charge of our taxes.
He does our taxes. He's a funny guy. We'll have him on before too long. That's about it for this week. We're going to start doing this a little bit more infrequently now. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to do it from now on too, now that we're moving to the 501c. So stick with us. We'll have more fun stuff in the future. We'll tell you more about what we're doing with the new nonprofit in the future as well. Brooklyn, anything else for this week?
I apologize for this succulent over here.
Succulent? Oh, no, I'm not apologizing for nothing. I regret nothing. Anything else, Sharla?
No, I apologize for my drunken idiocy.
Daniel hit me.
I patted you on the back.
Daniel, do not. Abuse is not okay.
Oh, God. No, it's not. I'm so sorry.
Professional disclosure, he was not actually abusing Sharla.
I patted her on the back.
Maybe we should leave that part out.
No. I'm editing nothing this whole episode.
Woof.
Nothing. Cornbread barking, our
if
craziness.
If you like pina coladas and going to the Keys, say aye. Aye.
All right. Oh, hey, last thing, if you're actually still listening at this point. If you were listening to this before Sunday, June the 30th, and you are in the area around Atlanta, a lot of Roovians are going to be meeting at the Braves game at 1:30 in the afternoon that Sunday. Buy a $20 ticket for the general admission section because up there is not really assigned seating. You can sit wherever you want in that section. And I think there's going to be anywhere from 15 to 20 Roovians that are going to be hanging out at the Braves game. We're going to have a good time, catch up, share Bonnaroo stories while the Braves are playing, I think, the Brewers that day. That'll be a good game. Come see your boy Acuna. Hopefully Strider is pitching that day for Brooklyn's benefit. The Quad God himself. I hope so.
It's Quadzilla.
Quadzilla, yes. So, again, Sunday, June 30th, if you want to hang out with us and a lot of other Roovians, buy a $20 general admission ticket for the Braves game. It's upstairs. It'll be in the shade because it'll probably be hot. It'll be a grand old time. Come hang out with us. We'll probably do something else after the ball game, too. So, hope to see you there. In the meantime, hey, things are changing for us now that we're moving to the nonprofit, but one thing that's never going to change is I want you to get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you in a week or two.
Bye.
Speak.
Cornbread, speak.
Speak. Oh, that's good enough. Goodbye.